In this video, we're going to do a case study on how Baking Blog handled the heat, grew their organic traffic by nearly 300% in just 6 months. Welcome to All-in-One SEO. We make SEO easy with our powerful WordPress SEO plugin. Let's get started. So this is Handle the Heat. What's remarkable about Handle the Heat is that they have been around for 14 years. Possibly even longer, depending on when you're watching this video. But Handle the Heat started in 2009, and they have survived in the very competitive food blogging space. That in itself is a remarkable feat. They've had pretty solid growth, and they even benefited from some of the recent Google algorithm updates that ended up hurting a lot of websites. We'll dive more into that a little bit later. Handle the Heat has recently grown their traffic nearly 300% from an already high level. How did they do that? How did an established website, an established brand, grow an additional 300% 13, 14 years in? Well, that's what we're going to dig into in this case study. What's remarkable about Handle the Heat is they grew their organic traffic by 295% in 6 months. If you want to read more about them or read this case study instead of watching this video, you can check out the companion case study at AIOSEO.com/trends. And I will drop in a link directly to this case study in the description below this video. So let's have a look at Handle the Heat's traffic. From 2014 to 2018, they received an average of 108,000 monthly visits. And then if we fast forward over to 2019 through 2021, they really blew up during the pandemic when people were staying home doing a lot of baking. And then unfortunately, that traffic kind of dropped off after the pandemic, which must have been incredibly frustrating. But look what was coming right around the corner. 2023 was their best year yet. And in November of 2023, they had 1.8 million organic visits, firmly planting themselves in the 1 million monthly visitors club. So what did Handle the Heat do that propelled them to 1.8 million monthly visits? Well, that's what we're going to dig into right now. So one strategy that Handle the Heat used is they created people-first, helpful content. So we're just going to take a look at one example from the Handle the Heat blog, and it's a recipe for chocolate chip cookies. I mean, as far as food blog goes, you can't get more basic than that. But this chocolate chip cookie recipe, which actually occurs as a link off of the blog, as you can see by my scroll bar here, is a huge page, a huge blog post with almost 2,000 comments down at the bottom of the blog post. So this is a very in-depth article about something seemingly as simple as chocolate chip cookies. So Tessa is the owner of Handle the Heat, owner and founder. Tessa is passionate about baking, and you can tell just if we take a brief look at this section here called Tessa's Recipe Rundown. So this is kind of like a teaser before you get into the recipe. If we just look at this part here where she's talking about the texture of the cookies, it says thick and chock full of gooey chocolate with slightly crisp edges. I mean, what great visual language she's using there. I don't know about you, but when I read that, all I can think is, I want to eat that cookie. Mission accomplished. If you're a food blog, you're getting people visualizing the cookie and thinking about how hungry they are. First, they have to read the rest of your blog so they can find out how to make that cookie. And if we scroll on down the blog post a little bit further, I mean, look at this image of the chocolate chip cookie. I mean, if that doesn't make your mouth water, I don't know what does. She's knocking it out of the park with this imagery. It sounds cliche, and if you've been involved in the SEO world for any amount of time, you've heard this before, but really what it's coming down to here is good quality content. So there's a lot that goes into creating helpful people-first content, but one of the ways that All-in-One SEO can help you create good, helpful people-first content is to focus on the readability of that content. Let's head on over to the post section. I'm going to click on this one called the Best WordPress Image Compression Plugins. I click on the AIOSEO button up here, General, and then Readability. The sentence's length is coming up with a green check. It's telling me sentence length is looking great, but the flesh reading ease is a 58.4. We're almost there. We're trying to get around 60, 70. And if it's not the sentence length, then it has to be big words. So we're going to go through here and look for some big words and see if I can replace them with smaller, simpler words. I'm going to change can be time-consuming to can take time. I'm going to change most significant to biggest because that's what we're saying in the context of this sentence. I'm going to change downright to just. I'm going to change the only downside to the one problem. I'm going to change this whole sentence, notable features you can expect from Short Pixel include, to some of the Short Pixel features are. I'm going to change build annually to build every year. I'm just going to get rid of the word explicitly in front of designed. It's a little bit redundant. I'm going to break this up into 2 sentences and change this to this allows for. I'm going to change this whole sentence. I'm going to say every part instead of every aspect. I'm going to change installing to install. I'm going to change therefore in this instance to so. I'm going to change resulting to which results. And there we have it. That brought us to 60.1s. So with this particular post, we had to go through the post with a fine-tooth comb and look for some big words and change them into smaller words to bump that score up. It's a little bit of a time-consuming endeavor, but the end result will be worth it because our content can now reach more people. And after all, that's the main goal for our message, to be reached and heard by more people. When you're all done making your updates, don't forget to click the big blue update button, and you're done. I'm not even sure if this was a strategy from the get-go or just a result of hard SEO work, but Handle the Heat won some higher rankings from Google algorithm updates. As you can see in this graph, Handle the Heat certainly did not get dinged. In fact, they benefited hugely from Google algorithm updates. The takeaway from this is time and time again, Google has rewarded quality content, so it pays over the long run to focus on quality content. The second strategy that Handle the Heat uses is she has a huge social media presence that she integrates really well with her website. If we look at some of the social profiles for Handle the Heat, she's got almost 750,000 followers on Instagram, over 300,000 on Facebook, and over 30,000 on TikTok. She posts daily on social media. She interacts with her audience often there. This really helps with her Google EEAT score, and it also helps drive traffic to her website. She really has her social media well integrated to her website. And I can show you how to easily integrate social media with your website using all-in-one SEO. From the WordPress dashboard, head on over to the Social Networks link under the All-in-One SEO menu. Here you can enter in the URLs for your social media profiles, and our plugin will let Google know which profiles are associated with your website. There's even an option to use the same username for multiple social networks. But in this example, we're going to type them in one by one. When you're done, scroll on down and click Save Changes, and that's it. Another step you can take to integrate social media into your website is to make sure that when someone shares your content on Facebook, it doesn't just share a link, it also includes an image. Studies have shown that when an image is included in a Facebook share, it's clicked on 39% more than just a straight link. So on the same page, scroll on back up to the top and click on the Facebook tab. Now there are a lot of options on this page. I'm not going to go through all of them in this video. We do have a video that dives into every single one of these options, and I'll show you how to get to that video later. But for right now, the important thing is to make sure that this Enable Open Graph Markup toggle switch is in the on position. So if it's not, just toggle it to on. What this is going to do is let Facebook know that you want to display an image when someone shares a link to your content on Facebook. And in the drop box below, we can tell Facebook which image that we want to use. So this is the global setting for your entire website. In a moment, I'm going to show you how to set this on each post that you share, but this is a good place to start. So if you click on this drop-down arrow here, there's a bunch of different options that we can choose from. Default image you can actually set here and choose an image that you want to use when people share your content on Facebook. That's typically not the best option because it's going to use the same image no matter what piece of content people share. A better option might be attached image or first image in content. This is a pretty good starting point if you have a blog and you want to use that main blog image when people share your content on Facebook. So after you've selected that, just breeze on past these other settings and click Save Changes. Now I'm going to show you how to do that same thing and tell Facebook which image to use from each individual post or page. It gives you more control over what image is going to be shared on Facebook. So scroll back up on this page and click on Post. I'm going to scroll on down to this setting recipe schema markup article. If we look over on the right here, we can see that the featured image for this page is an image of some cake recipes. Very appropriate for an article about setting recipe schema. So that's what I want to use for this article when someone shares it on Facebook. So let's scroll on down the page until we get to the AIOSEO settings section. Click on the social tab up top. So here we'll find a bunch of different options for sharing your content on Facebook. The big three that I'm concerned with today are the title, the description, and the image. In the title section, you could manually type in a title, but the title of your page is probably very good for sharing on Facebook. So what I'm going to do is use the post title. There's a whole bunch of different tags you could use here. You can click View All Tags to see all of them. Similarly, for description, I'm going to use post excerpt and put in an excerpt. The next option is the image source. So this is saying that it's going to use the default image source that I showed you how to set up earlier in this video. That was just the default that we picked for every single post. For this post, I've noticed that the feature image works really well. So if we click the drop-down arrow, I get a bunch of different choices, and one of those choices is featured image. I can choose that, click Update, and what this will do now is when someone shares this article on Facebook, which is what I'm hoping for, this is the image that will be used, a featured image of the cake recipe. If we scroll back up, there's one more thing I want to show you. If we click on the Twitter tab, we have these same options for how our content is shared on Twitter. There's a place where you can customize the title information and description information. I want to show you something that'll save you a lot of time. We have a toggle switch up here that says Use Data from Facebook tab. So if you just spent the time to get this set up the way you wanted it on Facebook, you can just turn this toggle switch on, and it'll basically duplicate that on Twitter. It's in Twitter's ecosystem, but it's basically going to share your content on Twitter similarly to how you share it on Facebook. Underneath that, we have an area called Twitter Card Type, where you can choose Summary or Summary with Large Image, or the default set under Social Network. And we have another video that shows you how to set up Twitter in our plugin. Click Update when you're done, and that's it. The third thing that Handle the Heat did is they used schema markup on their website to win some Google rich snippets. Here's an example of Handle the Heat winning a rich snippet for the Google search term sugar cookie recipe. If you want to implement schema data on your website, the hard way is to hire a developer or to write the code yourself. The easy way is to use a tool like All-in-One SEO that has a powerful built-in schema generator included. In the WordPress All Posts section, I'm going to click on this post I have here called Men's Basketball Shoes. So if we scroll down after the content, we get to the AIOSEO settings section and go ahead and click on the Schema tab. The first item you see is Schema Type, and this is set to product already by default, but if it was set to something else like web page or recipe, you can use this drop-down selector right here and choose product as the Schema Type. You can add a description of your product, a price for your product, the currency of your price. If you're having a sale, you can add how long you want the price to be valid to. In this example, it's not for a sale. We can add the brand and whether the item is in stock or not. You can put in a SKU here and an identifier type. You can also add in your reviews one by one in this section, including your headline, the content of the review, the author, and the rating. You can use the big blue button to add a new review and the trash can icon to remove those reviews. Click Update when you're done, and it will save that schema data. You can search our YouTube channel for a more in-depth tutorial on product schema, including how it integrates with WooCommerce. So the top 3 strategies that Handle the Heat used that you can emulate on your site is number 1, write for people first. Number 2, engage your audience on social media. And number 3, implement schema markup to win more rich snippets in Google search results. And then on the flip side, there were some things that Handle the Heat got wrong. Number one, missing meta descriptions. There were some simple meta descriptions that were missing. Would have been a very easy thing to fix. Number two, having more than one H1 header tag on a page or post. You really should only have one H1 header tag on a page or post to let Google know what the page or post is about. And number three, not assigning image title tags. We came across many images on the website that didn't have title tags. Again, this is just a really simple SEO win. All-in-One SEO can help you emulate the top 3 strategies that they used, as well as fix the bottom 3 that might need some work. So that's how Handle the Heat grew their organic traffic almost 300%. If you don't already have our awesome All-in-One SEO plugin installed, we've got a link to it in the description below this video. It can help you out with the task in this video, as well as many other SEO jobs that you might have to do on your WordPress website. If you click on this next video right here, I'll show you how to get long-tail keyword suggestions right from within WordPress. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more tips and tricks on how to use our easy and powerful WordPress SEO plugin, All-in-One SEO.